My name is John Todderud, and I'm a real estate investor. I've bought 9 different apartment properties over the years, some of them myself and others with partners, with general partners, and is usually as syndications. There are many tasks that you have to do. You need to divide those tasks up among the different partners and get them all done. You're going to be responsible for some of them. They're going to include things like initially finding the deal, doing some basic financials on the deal. It's called underwriting, and make sure that it makes sense with what you plan to do with it. Can you project out making money on the deal over a period of time, 5 or 10 years or whatever? And is it at a price that you think you can get? Then you're making your offering and negotiating a price, and if you get to agreement, then the fun starts. You're doing due diligence on both the physical condition of the property and the financials, the books and records. You're getting more records on the property that what you had before, and then you're moving toward closing the deal, getting the acquisition, and starting the operations. The one task that I've found to be most challenging is working with the lender, negotiating a loan, getting the right debt structure in place has to meet your needs. Are you going to look for outside financing for renovations? Do you have a lot of value add that you have to perform? Is it a major distress deal that you got to put a lot of money into renovating those units? Or is it in pretty nice shape and you don't need a lot of renovation funds? You need a reserve and other funds like that, but you're not going to do a lot of work for it. Whatever that structure is, it is a short-term structure, is it a long-term structure. There are a lot of options with the lender. The lender is going to make some commitments up front. They want to do business. They have to make loans. That's how they make their money. They take savings and they have to loan them out. They have to get a loan done, but they don't necessarily have to work with you. They've got other options, and they're going to try to structure it as much in their favor as they can and as safe for their bank or lending source or whatever it happens to be as they can. You get commitments, you move down through your due diligence process, and toward the end, you're probably locked into an interest rate, but you're not necessarily locked in to a total loan proceeds amount. And sometimes the bank will look at, or the lending source will look at your current income statement based on the latest month of reporting and look at it and say, oh, it's a little bit short of what we expected. And they project that out over 12 months, and bam, they give you a lot less money than what you were initially planning for. What do you do at that point? You walk away and say, sorry, bank, we'll find another bank. Oh, you really can't. You've made so many commitments, and you've got so much of your equity tied up. You need to do something. You can't start over with another. Well, maybe you can. Maybe that's a longer term resolution toward it, but it's not practical. And what you're going to need to try to do, if you still think that funding source is viable, if it's a credible funding source, you think you still want to work with them, then you need the capital to do that. You need to have brought more capital into the deal than what you actually needed. If they're looking at your loan proceeds, the total purchase price, and they're giving you less in a loan than what you actually asked for, you got to make up the difference. The only way to do that is through more equity, more investor capital. You can't go out and get another loan. The primary lender is not going to allow it. Like a supplemental loan, it's probably not going to allow it. I mean, there are ways of doing it: preferred equity and mezzanine debt, and some other complicated structures. And maybe that's one of your solutions to the problem. But in most cases, you need to find more equity yourself. Hopefully, it's not too much, and that it doesn't kill your deal. But that's the most difficult part. It's the due diligence. It's predictable. You know what to look for. You know if it's a good property or not. You know how much it's going to cost to repair the deferred maintenance and get things fixed. All the other aspects, capital raising. You're raising capital from investors. You know if you made it or not. You've got a lot of people on your list, and granted, it's not easy to raising capital, and you're trying to bring in people interested in the deal, but it's a little cut and dry. You either got it or you don't. The loan, you're right at the end. You've made so many other commitments. That lender comes back and says, sorry, we're changing the deal. That puts you in a super difficult position. You got to be ready for it. You got to be able to account for it and bring additional equity or have another plan in place to be able to close that deal.